right? We did a question here where we were supposed to weaken the executive's position, right? So what does this tell us about the executive's argument? It means that it wasn't a great argument, right? They left this important aspect out that would make this a good argument. So the way it's presented to us, it's not a great argument, but it's also not a deductive argument. You see how we do not get directly to that conclusion based on just on the evidence that we have. So this is another type of argument altogether, okay? And really, that's kind of where I want to go next, is to show that certain types of arguments, especially the ones that are not deductive arguments, okay? Because deductive arguments, again, they're very straightforward. Here, for instance, the election can be won by either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. The Republicans didn't win, so the Democratic won. Well, I mean, this would have to be the other way around. But still, you see, the conclusion is inescapable from the evidence that we have, right? Now, in an inductive argument, it's not so much the case. So an inductive argument is when you have pieces of evidence, we are connecting them together, and we, as the author of the argument, believe that the conclusion has a strong chance of following from that evidence, okay? But more often than not, especially on the test, what will happen is that the author of the argument, he didn't consider something, or he did something wrong with that argument, okay? So more often than not, we have problems in the argument itself, in the logic of that argument. So this is my first point in this class and throughout critical reasoning that I'm telling you guys. You always need to approach every argument kind of with a little bit of skepticism, right? It's not because it's written down that it actually works. More often than not, even if we're supposed to strengthen that argument, it still potentially will have some problematic logic involved, okay? And again, that's really the nature of what the GMAT does, right? Something that I refer in reading comprehension, and it, again, is really the same thing here. We're dealing with imperfect information. The way the test is now testing how well you deal with imperfect information is by presenting you an imperfect argument, something that isn't necessarily following the best of logic, okay?